And I haven't seen my girls since August of 2002. They were adopted to strangers because the system failed me and my family. Because I was living with my mother at the time that I was caring for my children, because I was suddenly a single parent of 2 children, and I was working a waitressing job, which I couldn't afford a place of my own at the time, but I could help my mom with her bills, and we kept the roof over our heads nicely. It was a horrible experience going through everything that I went through to get those girls back. And so many people are so judgmental, and I'm so scared of what they're gonna say to me about this stupid video, so I might not even post it, but fuck it, I don't care. I don't care what you guys say. I know what happened. I was there. You weren't. Okay? I love my girls very much, and I did everything that I possibly could to get them back. And it wasn't good enough. That's all there is to it. And the reason they were first taken away in the first place was because a stupid babysitter wanted my kids for her own. So she insisted on keeping them overnight for 2 nights, and I said no on the 3rd night. And she called the SRS on me and said that I was on meth and marijuana, and that I had left my children with her for long periods of time, that my mother was an alcoholic, and I left my children with her all the time, and all this crap that wasn't true. But they took them, and I couldn't prove anything, because my hearsay is just hearsay. All their hearsay, which is what her lies were, was facts, because that's the first story they heard, I guess. I should have called the police when she started insisting on keeping my children. I got suspicious about it, like, I wanted to go pick them up a couple times to go take them out to go eat, or, spend some time with them, because I was missing them. And, because I was working double shifts, so I hardly ever seen them anyways, because they were always sleeping when I had them. So, and I had to sleep when I had them. So, anyways, it was very hard being a single mom with 2 kids. But I made it work. And people do it every day, whether they're staying with their parents or whatever, Some parents are, grandparents and their mothers. Some parents are their grandparents and their dad. That's a family, but not in the eyes of the court. The grass is always greener on the other side when there's adoptive parents ready to take in a child or 2, and that's all that it boils down to. I was set up a lot. I know that's hard to believe, a system that sets people up, but I promise you I was. Okay? I had told on one of our visits, or, where we're talking about our case management. Sorry, I got so chance my arm's hurting. During a case management meeting, I had mentioned that I was on Flexeril, and the head person that was in charge of my case said, "Oh, you need to get off that right away. That comes up positive for methamphetamines in our home drug screens." And I said, "Oh shit, no, really?" And so I had to get off of it. And next day, they come do a home inspection. They do a home drug screen, which comes up positive for meth. Then they stall me to where I can't get into the drug screen place down the street, which is where they require me to go to have my drug screens done. They closed at 4:30. It was 4:20 when we found out I was positive for meth. I could have ran down there and got another UA, and it would have been more, direct as far as what it is, not meth, not yes, no. Anyways, so I had to take it the next day, and they threw out the next day one because it doesn't stay in your system very long. So, and they also claimed that they don't remember when they took the drug screen. So, my story wouldn't stand up in court anyway because it's just hearsay, because that's what I said, not what they, as professionals, say. They took conversations out of context at the hospital before the girls were taken. I went into the psych ward, okay, because my grandmother had died, and I was really having a hard time with, losing her, and I mean, she was like a second mother to me, okay, so I was really crushed by it, okay, and I went in trying to get help, really was looking to get, numb, like some of the friends of mine said, oh, you just gotta act crazy and they'll give you pills and then you'll feel numb and it'll be good. And you won't have to worry about all these feelings anymore. So I went in, they put me on 7 different medications. I was Haldol, lithium, Zyprexa, Zoloft, Neurontin, ibuprofen 800, and Flexeril to help with the side effects. Okay, so I was go the circus clown during the day, and I was drooling all over myself by night. And when my kids came to visit me, I pretended like I seen them bloody and begged them to take them away, because that's just what I wanted them. I wanted them to give me more drugs, because that's just the way that I wanted to feel at the moment. I didn't want to feel anything anymore, and that's the God honest truth. Okay. Then I had a dream while I was there that my ex-abuser had my daughter in the bathtub and was rubbing himself with her. And when I got her out of the bathtub, she was red down there and crying and hurting. And the next time when I put her in the tub, she was scared to go into the tub with him. Her feet arched up and stuff like that. Okay, well, because I always put my baby girl in the bathtub with her dad, and I'd sit there with him, I wouldn't leave her alone with him. I never did that, and he would never do that to her. But because of the dream, on all these drugs, in my head, they called out SRS. They came and investigated. They did an investigation. I had said that if I'm going to be on all these medications for the rest of my life, and I can't handle me, taking care of me by myself, I was pretty sure I didn't want my children, that I would want my mom to get temporary guardianship until I could get used to them. And what did they quote me in the courtroom? They quoted me, pretty sure I don't want my kids. Okay, so that looks awful. A mother who doesn't want her kids. Okay. They also said, at one point they said that I had a yellow pill in my urine. Whatever. How the hell can you figure out what color a pill is? A mysterious yellow pill. Okay, I know what pill it was. It was a stay awake pill from Quit Trip. Back in 2002, or 2001. That's what that was. I don't know if they're yellow anymore, but they were back when I was taking them. And I had the package of them in my purse, and I got it out, showed it to my attorney, Joe Bogle Jr., for your records. If you want to look him up, he's a jerk, and he doesn't work for you. He works for the city, or for the state. Okay, and he told me that. He said, your best bet is to pay a real lawyer to cover you, because I work for the state. That's his exact words. Okay. Anyways, I handed it to him. I said, this is what I was taking. This is the yellow pill. And he said, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. And I'm like, it's proof. And I'm like, everything that I went to him to correct them, you know, like when they had the babysitter on the stand, all I wanted them to ask her was, how many times did you meet her? And you know what? If they would have asked that question, she would have said 3 times. Okay, because I trusted the lady that introduced me to this lady, okay? She was my case manager from the hospital, and she said that this was a program called a Guardian Angel program, where they watch children 24/7 as needed, and they help you to keep your kids from SRS custody. Quote unquote. Okay? Trap. And then that whole thing was denied in court. Miss Bitch, Tiffany Chris Griffin, the babysitter, totally dogged me out on stand. She doesn't even know me. She met me 3 times. And what the fuck? She doesn't even know me. I'm on all these medications, yeah. I can see that I acted like I was on marijuana and meth. Okay, I was Go-Go the circus clown. And then I was drooling all over myself, and I was tired and, you know, out of it at night. I mean, I could see her point of view, but she didn't know me. She didn't know I was on all these medications. She just assumed things and turned me into SRS and got my children taken from me wrongfully and totally freaking terminated from me. For what? Her motive was to get them for herself. Okay? She wanted those kids for her own. That is what it boiled down to. And the case manager, about halfway through, said that the babysitter had tried to get her foster care license and she had just gotten it, but the girls were already established in the home where they were. So she was not able to be their foster parent. And that upsetted her, obviously. And they did an investigation on her, actually, and found out that she's an ex-meth addict. So that's where she got her, thought of meth in her head, is because she knows how she acted on it, and she thought that's what I was on it, because, and I didn't know what it was, much less how to do it at the time. After I lost my girls completely, I went out and I found out what it was about. Okay, I will be honest with you. I did. I did it twice, and that was it. And I didn't like it, and I could see the problem with it. And I wasn't doing it when they were taken. I was not doing anything when they were taken. Okay? But they still were taken. They were 8 months old and just turned 2 when they were taken from me. My 8-month-old, she didn't know me on our first visitation. She was crying for her mother that was right in front of her. That was so traumatic to me. I started crying. And the supervisor of the visit had to end the visit for a little while until I could regain composure, because I could not cry in front of my children. It was a very, very hard thing to go through, and it was the worst thing I've ever been through. And I've lost my mother, she died, and I've lost a baby girl who died 19 hours and 34 minutes after she died, and I have lost a little baby boy who was stillborn. Okay? That has nothing compared to what I went through with my girls. At the last court date, the judge asked me if I wanted to say anything in my defense. And my court-appointed attorney looked at me and said, No, you don't want to say anything. We're looking really good right now. And he didn't let me bring in my character witness of my best friend Lisa, who's known me all these years. He wouldn't let me bring her in because we were looking so good, in favor of getting my girls back. There was no way that I would lose them. I might lose them if I did say anything or if I did use that character witness. So I didn't. I took his advice. And they ruled my children terminated from my parental rights. And I stood up. I said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And I walked out. I collapsed outside the courtroom doors, and I cried so hard that I hyperventilated. And they had to get me a paper bag, and I, did the hyperventilation thing, and yeah, everybody was upset. All the state workers were crying when they seen me. It serves them right. They fucking destroyed a family for whatever reason that I still don't, to this day, don't understand. I was a mother. I was a young mother. I was trying my best, and it wasn't good enough. Sorry. I did everything that they told me to do. And then in court, they would say, "No, you didn't do everything." But outside of court, they say, "Oh, you got everything done. There's nothing to worry about. We're ready for court now." Get in court. "Oh, she didn't do this, she didn't do that, she didn't do this, she didn't do that, she refused to do this. And during a visitation, she lost her child, blah, blah, blah." But the foster mom's daughter said, "Can I take Katie into the ball pit with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then after a while, the supervisor, she said, "Becca, where's Katie?" That's my daughter. And I said, "She's playing with the mom." And then I heard somebody crying, and I was like, "I know that cry, that's my daughter." And I rushed over to the ball pit, and there she was. She had gotten bit by some other kid, and the foster mom's daughter was not there. And that made me very angry, because she asked if she could take her into the ball pit, and she just left her in there. So that was on me? No, excuse me. Anyways, yeah. It's just been so freaking hard. It's hard to beat that system because they have so many hoops and you can't do anything right. When you're doing stuff right, they ain't writing nothing. But as soon as you do something wrong, they're scribbling away a mile a minute, writing down all the stuff you're doing wrong. But do they guide you into what you need to do? No. That's what I needed. I needed like super nanny program. Come in, show me how to take care of my two children who were 17 months apart, and help me get in control of them. I know it's hard to control a 17-month-old, okay? But she was hurting her newborn baby sister, hurting her, pulling her hair, pulling her arm, hitting her. One time, and only one time, I had put her in her crib and went to the bathroom. Never again, because my 17-month-old reached in the bars, grabbed her, pulled her to the bars of the crib, and had her face all squished up against it. And she's screaming bloody murder. She's pulling as hard as she can on the baby's arm. I'm like thinking, oh my God, her arm's going to get dislocated, and it's going to be really bad. And, how does a freaking baby get a freaking out of socket shoulder? Well, 17-month-old, just, I was so frustrated with them because I didn't know what to do. As soon as I'd get one asleep, the other one would wake the other one up. It's like it was a constant battle. I'd say, "Shh, baby's sleeping," and that would automatically be a game because my ex's mother made that a game with the baby doll. She'd be quiet. "Oh, yeah, fun." No. Okay, that's not my fault. So I was very stressed out, but I never hurt my children. I never put them in danger. I walked away many, many times, okay? I had them in a safe place, and I walked away. That's what you're supposed to do. Anyways, I was doing the best I could, and it wasn't good enough. And that pisses me off because I deserve those girls, and they're 12 and 11 now. I haven't seen them for 10 years now. Well, 9, I guess. Not 10. It's 9. It's been 10 years since they were in the state custody, though. They were taken April 10th of 2011. Or 2001, sorry. Not 2011, 2001. And they were terminated August 29th was our last visit of 2002. 15 months it took them to destroy my family. I lost my job because I had to take off work so much to go do the court-appointed classes. I had to call in sick to work because I had to do an suddenly changed visitation time. So my boss pulled me in the office and said, "I'm sorry, but I cannot work around your schedule. You need to work around mine," and let me go. So I lost my job, and then I told every employer that ahead of time, I'm sorry, but I have this going on in my life right now, and I do have to take a lot of time off to go to visitations, court dates, court-appointed classes, and I need money to pay for these classes, and I would really appreciate a job. And nobody would ever hire me. I know that was stupid of me to just put it out there, but I'm such an honest person, that's what I did. Okay? Shoot myself in the foot, I guess. I don't care. I wanted them to know ahead of time, so that way they wouldn't be surprised when they finally hire me and then have to turn around and fire me because I can't, perform the way they expect me to. So it was better to do it that way. Anyways. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I have a blog. I'll probably put it down in the little thing. If you go to the oldest post, the third one in is the whole shenanigan. It's my view. It's what I experienced. It might not be what other people had experienced that were involved. It's just fine. But this is my experience. This is how I seen it happen. This is how I felt and how I computed everything in my head. Okay? There's people that have their opinions about it. And I don't freaking give a hoot who they think they are. I know what happened. I was there. They were not. Okay? I did everything that I could do. Physically, financially, everything I could do to get my girls back. And it was not good enough. Anyways. That is a chapter of my life that I probably shouldn't post on YouTube.